Hi guys. So today in this video I would like to talk to you about my journey through the Indian Police Service and finally how I came to resign from the service. So it was summer of 1996 when I got into the service, and my first thought was not about the service. The first thought was that I will finally escape the mess food at IIT Kanpur. Okay, and so as you know, some of you might know that the first phase of the training is the foundation course, which is at this Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy in Mussoorie. Beautiful place, right? Beautiful place, beautiful building, lovely hill station. But for me, the biggest thing was like food. Compared to IIT Kanpur, this was like 5-star, food. So good start. But then, foundation course was coming to an end, and I had a bit of a trepidation. And why was that? So that was because we had to now go to National Police Academy, and the training there was supposed to be really scary. Now, just to give you an idea, when I was in college in first year, we used to have this what is called compulsory physical activity. So in the first semester, for I think at least 20 days or whatever, you have to get up in the morning, 6 o'clock maybe, and go for a run. It was not really a run. They would make you like walk a little bit, run something, and I could not even clear that. Okay, and here in Police Academy, morning you get up at like 5:15 whatever, and then you fall in when it's still dark. Every single day you start your PT when it's still dark, and then first 40 minutes literally you don't even have the opportunity to kind of stand and breathe. It's just like non-stop like intense physical activity, and everybody's like struggling every single minute. After that you have parade, and then you have indoor classes again in the evening, again parade, games. So essentially for 12 hours it's a non-stop sprint every single day for 10 months, and I had no idea how I'd make it. But the fun part is that human body and human beings, we have this ability to go from one level to completely another level. Just to give you an example, I would have, before the training, I would have really struggled to run like 200 meters. And in this training, I think we had cross-country runs where we had to run, I'm guessing about 16 kilometers. And yeah, I'm not saying it was easy, but we could do that comfortably. So this is one realization I had for somebody who had never played any games, not done anything outdoor, and we could do it quite comfortably. And there is a ton of things that we did, which, well, it may or may not be really useful today, but the experiences that you would never get elsewhere. Like we got to fire every kind of weapon that you can think of, and very rock climbing and advanced tactical training, how to conduct ambush and search and a lot of those kind of things. So it was very, very interesting from that perspective. And after my training, I was assigned to Kerala, which is where I live right now, in Trivandrum. And I have no idea about this place. You can imagine that the language is very different. I couldn't speak a single word when I landed here. And then the district training started. And the most, for me, a few things that I remember. One was that when you are in college, like you're a student or even in school, nobody really cares about you, right? And now here, suddenly one day, training is over, and when you go to the field, whatever you say, everybody is like, yes sir, and you kind of wonder, like, do you really know what you're talking about? So it was quite a funny experience. And initially it's very, very exciting. Everything's new, doing it for the first time, seeing all these things. And after training, I was lucky enough to very soon I got my first posting. After I got the rank of SP, I was posted as Trivandrum Police Commissioner, which was very interesting. I was running, like all my batchmates, I was running a police unit, and Trivandrum city had about 3,500 policemen and officers. And I was probably the youngest person in the city police force. And I was running the place, and I had very little experience. It was pretty tough initially. Those days, it was every other day there would be some law and order problem, rioting, lathi charge. It was like daily something would keep happening. It was non-stop activity. Initially, I enjoyed it, but gradually, after some time, you start thinking like, am I learning new things? Am I doing something different? And at some point, I started feeling that this is the thing that you found interesting, like all this pomp and show and drama. After some time, it kind of loses. At least for me, it lost its charm, and I felt that I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do something different. I wanted to learn new things, and it was good, but I did not see my future as an IPS officer, and I was still hardly 30, so I did not want to do this for another 30 years, and I decided to quit. So what next? So again, back to square one. Now here is one lesson, like, so very often when you write an exam or you join a company or you do something, we assume that this is the final destination, right? This is what I'll do, and this is my life. You never know. There'll be new opportunities, you may see something different, your thinking may change. We never know what's happening in life. So one thing I can tell you is that don't think of anything as life and death. If it's an exam, doesn't matter. If it's a job, it doesn't matter. Everything, nothing is final. There'll always be new opportunities. There'll also be new challenges. So life keeps changing. And with that, I said, okay, I'll probably quit. So then what next? So I decided to do an MBA. And I distinctly remember, so everybody said, like, that's a stupid idea, crazy idea. Why would you do that? So when I was one day, preparing for the exams and filling some application forms. I remember one day one of my subordinates came, and he saw me working on some application, and he started smiling. So I said, what? And he said, sir, in Malayalam he told me, like, sir, how does it look? Commissioner of police, like, sitting and filling an application form. I said, come on, it doesn't matter, right? So, then I decided to do an MBA. I went to Wharton in the US, did my MBA, and it was a lovely experience. I think I learned a lot. After that, I joined a consulting firm called McKinsey in New York. I was there for a couple of years, and then came back to India, and I joined a private equity fund. Then there also, I always wanted to do something on my own, and I enjoyed teaching. I love teaching finance, I love science, I love physics. And then one day I decided that enough, right? I'm going to do something in education, and I left my job. And then I started, initially I wanted to teach finance, and then from there it came to, I started my current startup, which is Concept Owl, and we teach science and math to children in rural areas and small towns. And my goal and my passion always has been, how can we provide good quality learning to students in small towns and remote areas. And one of the reasons why I want to do that is I grew up in small places, and I had a lot of difficulty in getting the right information, figuring out how to prepare, how to learn this thing. And there's always a gap between being in a city and being in a small town or rural area. That gap we want to bridge, right? So that's what we do, and that's my life journey, right? So starting from studying science for IIT and then doing various things, and then I'm back to now teaching science, and I love that, right? So thank you for listening. I hope you found my experiences somewhat interesting and hopefully somewhat useful, right? So this is what I would say to you. If you have some dream, you have some goals, don't rush it, but pursue them, right? Nothing is easy. Everything takes time. Everything, you may do something, and then maybe you want to do something else another day, and that's totally fine, right? It's not, a lot of children, and even I've seen college students, fresh graduates, a lot of time they feel like, I don't know what I want to do, and that's fine. You'll figure it out, right? Life is a journey. Take one step at a time, but one thing, keep going, don't stop, right? So thanks very much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon in another video, and I'll share some other interesting stories or some thoughts with you. So thanks very much.